as well. There are so many steps of dust too, which seem like Faze had skipped on the CT side. That when I look to Overpass, which isn't even a game of steps on the CT side, it's a game of, you know, chess, checkers, and a couple of other games all mixed into one giant confusing board game. I'm not quite sure how they'll do, but they started off on their CT side, so we'll have to wait to see how exactly they perform.
The B bomb site is fairly vacant, and that's where North have made their quick strides. It was Connector as a focus, and Cajun tries to contain them, but it's not going to be all too successful. They push instead for CT control, trying to recognize the weakness in the setup, and niko somehow getting away with the kill. Kjaerbye in tandem. Sure, they have Gade deep in towards spawn, but this is all that they have to work off of in the post plant.
He's still fighting back. The flashbang almost catches him, but he's got the first kill. Unfortunately, he's had a teammate fall. In the meanwhile, he's dinked up and he's brought down. Faze will get the defuse and the round with it. A good start to things, but we're not getting a bomb plant. You never really know whether or not they can pull out a win. In the first half, we saw both teams who lost the pistol round being able to come out with a win in the subsequent one. The question is, will we see the trail continue going into Overpass?
Yeah, that was identified very quickly as well by North on the pistol. As soon as they realize the site is vacant, they plant actually for Heaven and CT. But still, they weren't able to get it done.
Right now with the MP9, seeing if he can find anything. Unfortunately, what he's found is AZ with the Galil. Brokey does back him up and find the trade, but with an immediate 4 versus 4 found, North have a lot more room to play with, especially if Gate goes over, moves in and picks up that fallen Galil.
And it quiets down. So quite a few slow rounds from North on the T side in the first map. That certainly follows through. MSL repositioning. Cajun's been the solitary defender of the B side default, making sure Faze don't push or even scout out for information.
58 seconds on the clock as it has ticked down pretty substantially. North will have to deal with coldzera right around the corner, and with a secondary smoke, they back off cold. With a very deep smoke will be lurking right behind it, as North has chosen to prioritize B short instead. Gate is still in the vicinity though, and if he can find cold, that would be massive. However, with another smoke and a Molotov, there's no way that North creeps up without alerting Faze Clan. Even opening this door, it doesn't make as much noise as some of the other squeaky doors in the game do, but it might be just enough for them to have heard it. Smoke goes out towards Heaven. Molotov as well for Toxic with 20 seconds left on the clock. They're making a gamble and they're hoping that Faze falls for it, and it seems like they have. Brokey rotated over very quickly, and North will be able to guarantee themselves a bomb plant. What a fake from them.
Talk about not rotating too quickly for Faze. They pull the trigger early here on Overpass, and Brokey lost his position on the site, but he still finds the kill on MSL. A man advantage now held in the post plan, and Cajun trying to siphon the rotations. He doubles up for the frags, and while they have the site, they don't really have the positions. No utility either to smoke this bomb off and try and get themselves on the defuse. No kit. While niko will equalize, this is still a very difficult spot. Cannot cover the defuse, so niko has to hunt for the frags, and this is surely a round loss unless niko pulls something out of the bag. He's trying to track down the kills, but Lekro and Cajun both respond with kills of their own. That second round, once again, stolen away by the team that loses the pistol.
And so the trend continues, but over here we see a glimpse of what is to come from North. This is where, you know, Faze Clan, this is where I start to talk about Overpass is CT side being a couple of different board games all into one. The vertical element comes into play, the fast rotations come into play, and that's where you're generally thinking, yeah, fast rotations, we can rotate back to the other side quickly. It's no, it's a lie. It is a lie. And MSL, well, he was thinking about going down Monster Tunnel early on, but he decides against it. Now with North realizing that they've got Deagles to play up against, they have been acquainted to a few very difficult rounds. Turns out this time will be slightly easier as coldzera misses the initial shot, and niko will fall with his back turned. Lekro and Cajun make quick work of the CTs trying to get control over the B short waters, and that'll be giving them a easy round.
Yeah, there was a decent amount invested into this for Faze. It keeps some residual cash. and not threatening the economy of North. Not seeing too much success, even with the upgraded pistols. Best case scenario for them, they double up. They find a straggler, somebody hunting a bit too aggressively for the eco frags, but that doesn't seem like something that North will do. They've got a player investigating the A bomb site, making his way over. That's MSL with the SMG. He's on the hunt, as you would expect. Giving a MAC-10 over to the CT side. No big deal. The rifle, more substantially so. We'll see if MSL farms up some cash or gets farmed himself. First duel. Oh, he's getting tagged. 1 HP, and he's gone.
He's a fertile fellow, isn't he?
A fertile?
He tends to get farmed pretty often.
Ah.
See what I did there? But hey.
He threw me off fully with that.
I know. I am well aware. But with that being said, MSL and his farming or farmed adventures aside, North will still have to pull out a slightly weaker buy. Not quite ideal, but of course, when you're going up against full pistols, I would have personally liked to see a couple more MAC-10s picked up. I think North might have actually been fooled into believing that FaZe had more money saved up from the previous round than they actually did. Generally speaking, that'll happen when a few players don't have Kevlar. You'll just look, yeah, I killed that guy in 3 hits. Okay, they don't have Kevlar. So they're probably buying up in the next round. So might be a bit of a misread on the economy. Alternatively, could just be North saying maybe we keep all 5 rifles alive. Either way, it is just Faze Clan looking for damage.
Yeah, they've stacked B, so this will not see success. A gamble. Trying to just use the pistols, of course. Mainly standard issue. But standard issue or not, no issue for North. A site taken. Smokes down. Really comfortable round. A breeze by.
Can you imagine, though, if you were actually a CT in the game itself and you're told, yeah, you know, you've gone through a lifetime of training. You're here to serve, you know, your country / your forces / whatever you're here to serve. You know, good luck, trooper. And they say, where's my gun? Well, you've got to save up your own money for that one, chum.
Sorry, budget cuts. This round, round, yeah, you don't get guns.
Maybe you can find some money off those terrorists you're killing over there, but with all that being said and done, though, it is just going to be a quick little show as leikkeet and company make short work of them. And there you go. North save all 5 rifles. So maybe there is something to it after all.
And cash is being built up for the T side. FaZe, the full investment. All cash out of their pockets. The budget was given to them, but it is limited. North more well-funded. We'll see the Molotov out. It actually gets missed there by FaZe. That was to delay any sort of a fast play to allow this connector presence to bear a bit more fruit. Look how quickly North are progressing up through long. FaZe will have no idea that this is a possibility so early.
And even yesterday, we saw FaZe miss the Molotov a few times, and actually a couple of times they didn't even go for that primary Molotov. They instead just went for the playground Molotov only, which is supposed to be the second one. Brokey, however, finds an initial kill, courtesy of a boost, and Rain follows up. Although they've given up a lot of ground, they've found the kills they need to get the round. leikkeet still fighting back, though. 2 beautiful shots allow him a bit more of a room to play with. AZ on top of the garbage bin, seeing if he can find a one-way in the smoke, but coldzera is already wrapped around him. Cold's not expecting it, and as the smoke dissipates just enough, AZ will be able to come out on top. A 2 versus 2 from what was a 2v5, it seemed like. AZ wanting to peek out, but now he's waiting for leikkeet. Molotov is well placed as it'll deny the bomb from being defused. leikkeet will distract, and AZ will execute. North have played that perfectly off the back of leikkeet's 2 beautiful long-range kills.
And that's the catalyst. As soon as he hits both those frags, they continue pushing forward. Of course, the plant on the other side of the dice. And sure, they roll them a little bit. The rotations come in from behind here from FaZe, but those shots from leikkeet gives them just enough room to get that one done. That 5 versus 2 gone astray. That was shaping up to be a really successful round in spite of that fast progression that North had made. Come on, Rain. On the Molotov. Second time going. Okay, this time it's a flash instead, but They can
Brokey's
work
hoping
around
to
the
find...
AWP of Brokey. Yeah.
Yeah, Brokey's hoping to find a quick little kill here. If they can recover an AK-47 in the hands of Rain, maybe they can make it work. Hell, even if Brokey drops the AWP to a teammate and picks up the AK himself, I'm more than happy with it. Occasion to fall though, and do they dare go for more? And boost is instant, but MSL has caught it out immediately as well. And it seems like he's not done yet. AZ's still looking to farm some frags, and he will be able to find a bit more to add to the tally. Brokey just looking to back off, and Rain just looking to do maybe a bit more damage.
Yeah, re-smoked out heaven. Brokey fancied a chance at another pick with the AWP, but chances denied. North are doing a really good job of identifying and exploiting gaps in the defensive for Faze. I mean, even in a round like this, sure, they don't have too much brought into the round here for Faze. But as soon as they get that AWP peak, there's nobody holding for a monster progression. They get caught out on the boost. And North, again, scale very quickly.
Nice shot from AZ. Gotta love that one. The M4A1S with its laser sight just... Ooh.
Yeah.
Something special about getting a headshot with that. It feels a little bit useless when there's an AK on the other's hand, though.
Yeah, when it's against unarmored opponents in particular, it's just...
Yeah. It's just clean.
Headshot is just so... It's the same feeling or sensation you get with a USB headshot. It's just... Ooh.
Yep. Silent and deadly. Faze Clan in the meanwhile, with now a full buy. Does this Molotov land this time over? Okay, it does land this time over. leikkeet, however, with an immediate smoke will back off. It seems like they're going for a 4-man boost. There's no one really there to be seen. Maybe a little bit later on it's possible, or if there's someone who's creeping through Monster, but so far, so good for them. Faze Clan not really wanting to go for anything.
And it was actually crucial that the Molotov got smoked off, because it shows that North are going for a little bit of presence towards playgrounds. Even if that is a bit misinformed, it doesn't give a telltale sign that they're not taking map control at the very least for North. So going for that boost isn't going to be something that is a capitalized or a punishment that FaZe could distribute in the round.
Also, with MSL finding the first kill, anyhow, it seems like punishment's being distributed the other way. coldzera next to full, MSL and AZ coming in and dominating this B bomb site. The fertile man has borne fruit, and he has come through with a couple of kills. With this, it's just Faze with 2 players who will try to save.
You're really not letting this fertile thing go, huh?
What are you talking about? I've dropped it already. Yo, you keep bringing it back up.
Farmer man MSL. I'm hoping something tweets it.
You know
yeah,
what? Tweet us your best photoshops of MSL Photoshop as a farmer with bonus. Oh, actually, Rain is getting some bonus points as well. Bonus points if you manage to, you know, like incorporate the rest of his team somehow as well. As leikkeet will be looking to finish off some players. Brokey with a nice little shot, but he will go down. Yes, so tweet us at GGTDAM and at YOUM3TV. And with the hashtag DHOpen, I'm telling you, this is going to be some fun stuff. Farmer Man MSL. Faze them, and what a few entries initially.
Yeah. And the thing is, FaZe have had these small opportunities to get things done in a few rounds, but that is very clean from North. Even in spite of them going for the quadruple boost and getting nothing from it.
Rain hoping to find a small little gap in the smoke. Maybe they're boosting up behind it, but AZ is ready for the uppercut. He's ready to come growling out. However, Rain's repositioning will make it a little bit harder. Rain, perfect spot to be in. 2 quick kills, and he's got it all done with the M4A1 picked up as well. leikkeet now has to save the day yet again. He thought it was time to put the cape away, but you can't retire. Not yet, leikkeet. You've got to keep going. Another 3v5 that North will have to try and work their way out of.
Yeah, that's the bomb as well. So there's so much information bled over to FaZe. Oh, Brokey. Not bleeding, but burned. Rain getting another kill as Brokey falls. And it's into 2 more players left for North, and the boost from Cold is well placed and well timed. leikkeet in a difficult position, a really difficult one at that. The wall's so spammable, and Rain finishes it off nicely. A bow on top, 4 kills for them. That was a half buy around the saved M4 for Faze, and they topple over the round. That surprising angle, initially held by Rain. Sure, it gets nothing, but this reposition, so clean for the double headshot on the Deeg.
It's beautiful stuff right there, man. It is gorgeous. And with that, Faze Clan will be able to recover quite a few weapons as well. Let's make sure they can go through with a deep Molotov in. This time it's not really quite on time to prevent them from coming back. And Rain knows this, so he's back to the toilets, back and forced away. Broky's position is going to be key, though. It seems like North is angling for maybe a later on long take, but we'll have to wait to see with 2 players on connector ready to pincer in for toilets. Either one of those is a possibility. Cade peeking out towards the toilets initially. Rain is lying in wait with an AWP to back him up. No one to go to long. And North have, without giving any sound cues, completely taken over the divider area. Now, if these long players want to move back, it'll be very difficult. It all comes down to niko's good for 1 and backs off. Flashbang overhead over Optimus will give him a bit more room as North is forced to turn away from him, and Faze Clan with the help of the smoke can now lead the way back to bank. AZ waiting for a peek. Information. It's all North needs. That's all North wants. But Broky's the one who's peeking in. MSL's been tagged down to his legs, down to his knees. I think that was through a wall, though. Number 30 seconds. North will try to collapse. Flashbang goes overhead, but they've rotated back. North are still playing this perfectly. Faze just aren't ready to rotate. They've already been burnt once by a quick rotation, and now goes MSL. 20 seconds on the clock. Kirby with a smoke on his right side. He's just waiting for them to come through. Molotov goes overhead as well. Kirby perfectly positioned to stop the bomb plot. He knows he'll have to rush for it, and he'll be able to deny it. He's traded, yes, but it's a little too late. Cajun left alone. 1v4 and can't get it done. What a round from Kirby.
He's in the exact right spot. The timer ticking low. North not getting what they were hoping for over towards A. They get forced into that decision, but they were still threatening the A site enough that the rotations weren't going to be there in time. It's a little awkward for Kirby. He gets flashed, but he gets the kill he needs to deny that plant. And the time, because it works against North, there's no possible hope of winning things back. They're getting a few more rounds now on the CT side, and you can see they're getting a bit more confidence. That niko strikes first with the AWP, the secondary ult for Faze that strikes true.
See, when niko starts dancing, that's when you better start respecting him. Kirby jump sporting there, toxic as a nade. What a nade that could have been, but it moves all past him. Cajun as well now walking in. He knows the position of Kirby, knows that there's someone in water, gets himself 2, and the third comes in. AZ actually stole the first one away from him, pardon me. But it is a 3v2. Broky and Rain fighting away. Rain out in the open, gets 1, but he's traded quickly. Cajun smokes off the flames underneath him, and Broky's now in the 1v2. He's great at clutches, but not today. Not so far, at least. Broky looking for the duel. Cajun's right around the corner of the pillar, but he has a player backing off. Flashbang goes over. Broky's moved past. Broky's moved in, but Cajun has got himself 4 kills, and it could have been the ace as well if AZ hadn't taken the first away from him.
How could he have known that Cajun was going to explode out on the site in such a spectacular fashion? Cajun had the hot hand on Dust 2, and it doesn't seem like that form is slowing down. Bit of slower start, definitely true, but having a huge amount of impact for North in that round. Now up to 7. Faze a bit more of a conservative approach, except over towards short. They get aggressive, and Cajun spams cold right back. A tag onto AZ, and Cajun says no. Not today.
Well, AZ will be brought down. And for AZ, it's not a case of not today, it's a case of no today. as Gade will find out that there is a tomorrow to look forward to. leikkeet will be joining him in the pursuit of the future. But MSL and Cation still alive and fighting. MSL with a great shot to take down Kirby will give himself in position where he can get the bomb planted. Brokey, however, looking to deny, gets up on top, will be brought down. Cation to protect his leader. And Rain now left for 1v2 will bring it back to 1v1 quickly. Caju's position is also known. Rain is playing this perfectly. He's dropped down to a safe haven, but safe haven is interrupted. Caju has been on fire so far, and he will continue to burn the clan of Faze.
And he calls his bluff. There were open opportunities for Caju to rotate back through short. You could see Rain smoked it out, but Caju repositioning in the right moment catches Rain completely out. Now back-to-back high-impact rounds for Caju. It was entries, now it's clutches. Now Faze will have to clutch onto Deagles in this round only.
They've been good at it so far. They've managed to sneak out one round, and they've always been good for some damage, but they're starting to wonder, Dust 2 comes to mind. But this time the other way around. And something tells me North is going to have a slightly better CT side on Overpass than Faze did on Dust 2. We'll have to wait to see. leikkeet, meanwhile, creeping and crawling forward. No position given away. North's been very good about not giving position when they get control over the balloons and divide area. And although he gives away where he's standing now, that still leaves enough time for the rest of his team to start creeping up and through long. With that control established, the B-side stack will be completely avoided, and this would be the second time they have dodged a Deagle round on the basis of that.
Ooh, Kirby went to clear it, but AZ holding a higher angle than anticipated. Over towards A, they sail. A bit of a fake play, actually. leikkeet, the only one to throw a bit of a wrench in the works. Some kills being found. He's still threatening this A site. They are none the wiser. They're circumnavigated.
Yeah.
Again, North have been doing such a good job on this T side by finding and exploiting weaknesses on the CT side. Even in rounds like this, there's a gap that's opened up. They find long, and Faze, they recognize that. They over-rotate, and they just get completely bypassed.
For Faze, it's always been over-rotate or no-rotate, it seems like, in this series. And Gold does have the AK-47 to try and save forward, so would be nice if he can keep a hold of that. Hasn't been the easiest of times for Faze, and as he gets another kill, that's another $300 in the bank, and he's caught out, unfortunately. So he'll have the money to be able to buy, and the $300 are actually quite nice to have. It guarantees a little bit more utility, maybe a kit as well in the mix of things, but when all is said and done, he prioritizes the op instead. Brokey and himself will be wielding it. This time, Nico's not the one who wants his hands. And Nico, his hands are cooling down. 5 and 10 so far. Not the performance we were expecting.
Yeah, I think he ended on 38 kills on Dust. Maybe he's all puckered out. All fragged out for the series. You'd hope not for Faze. Oh, Kirby, quick turnaround after the flash from Niko. And he goes for more. AZ there to punish and trade. Had the opportunity to back himself away. Just use that man advantage. Niko does find some spam damage, but Rain is lost in the connector. So all of that pressure that's applied towards short water, dispatched off. Now how do North navigate?
Brokey's been tagged up so heavily as well, and he knows he needs to still start getting aggressive around the corner, because if he doesn't get the kill, there's no one to equalize, and leikkeet will take him down. 2 versus 4. Faze Clan, they want 5 rounds. That's all they want over here. They know they can get something done on the T side, put an AK in all of their hands, and yeah, they'll probably pop off. But 5 rounds are a must, or at least so it seems. Cold off at the ready, will find the first kill, but a flashbang will give the other one a lot of room to reposition, and Cold misses a shot with Niko coming in from behind, though he's got some backup at least. 2 versus 2. Gade and MSL. MSL tagged. Cold in hot pursuit with the USB. Knows where he is, but MSL has now dodged the path. He knows he can't go back to connector, at least not easily. And so he might be asking for Gade's help, but even Gade is a limping man. They will rotate back. Niko, however, is not the destination you want to find when you're both down at 14 HP with 10 seconds on the clock. Niko's got the M4A4. And with this, he knows that if he hears the bomb being planted, he just goes for this. He just goes for it. Initial shot comes in. It's straight to the head as well. MSL in a 1v2 can't get it done. And niko, where he'd quieted down earlier, he has come through at the perfect time. That rotation to heaven was crisp.
Yeah, it was perfectly timed as well, because you can see, because Cold missed the shot on the pillar, if niko wasn't there to back him up, Cold likely falls there. Instead, he's able to accomplish more damage, more tags, and it puts North in a really dicey position. They had to rotate back to A. That B bomb site is so hard to hold when you have no HP to exchange in duels. Oh, still shy of double digits. Faze are answering back in some rounds. Rain aggressive through middle, but it's only damage. leikkeet, with the Galil of all things, finds the headshot first.
Broky's positioning is huge, so they might not be expecting an AWP behind them. Kirby as well to provide some backup, and with the smoke, they're going to be stalled around the corner. Kirby's been flashed though, and he's been taking some cover, but cover is not enough. He will fall. coldzera now in the smoke, left alone, and Broky will provide some help, at least by distracting and reducing their numbers. Cold will find another occasion in a 1-on-2. If there's a man you want to have, it is him. Can he get it done? Yes, he can, but unfortunately for him, that kill wasn't Cajun's. Broky comes in, gets himself all the kills he needs. There you go. Look, it's effective, okay? That's what it is. It is effective.
It's still around at the very least for Faze, but he executes Cold, but still finds the kill.
You will die for the cause.
I mean, you're in my way. Out my way, son.
Two majors who?
Funny moments, but nothing to laugh at for North. This could have rounded out to be a very successful T side half. It still is, by and large. 9 rounds on the T side, that is more than enough to work with. It's a very strong position to be in, but it just could have been more.
An AK in AZ's hands. I'd love for that to be with Cajun, but actually AZ's probably had a better round in the past few. He is the one with all the utility though, which might end up being an issue as he wants to go in first or at least second. And as AZ rounds the corner, might not realize Rain is in connector with niko, who has gained a lot of ground. The second this door gets opened, Rain and niko are both ready to rip them apart, and with them going for a boost, if they find anything, Rain will know this. Rain will know where they are. He sees 3 players and the pyramid will fall. Rain only is good for 1 though, and niko and coldzera are the ones who come through and clean up the act. Cold will find another, but AZ is just crouched in and the AK put to good use. Both him and Gade fighting back, but with AZ being as low as he is, Kirby's more than enough with the MP7. Gade, 1 versus 3. Deagle is his chosen weapon. Macton not good enough for the task at hand. And Gade needs to start hitting some nutty shots. He's only got 4 kills so far. A 30 ADR would be a great time to start bumping it up. AK picked up, wings it out, but can't make it. The last thing I hear whenever I'm going back into a second half is a little whoo from Hunter, and I couldn't be happier because this is shaping out to be a bit of a closer series. And perhaps we might have given it closer game rather than we have given it credit for. leikkeet now being given a chance as he finds himself 1. MSL doubles up, and Faze Clan are off to a rocky start. Broky looking to fight back with a Glock as he will find Cajun, but who's finding who? Cajun comes up with yet another. It's all down to niko and Rain back in a 2v5.
It's a taste of their own medicine in the pistol round. They played retake B, and it's similar positions. They have to force towards CT. They have to try and fight for control, but it's a more convincing round for North. They gunned them down through the connectors. That's where Faze put half of their forces in this round. And North, they'll take the pistol. They get to double digits.
Are we going to see the same thing happen again, though? Is Faze Clan just going to buy up force buy? Because so far, it's been a pretty consistent theme all across the series. Yeah. Could even be 4 for 4 with the money that we've got on the side of Faze. Sort of interesting that they go for connector control that early on, though. That has been a bit of a sore point. Yeah, like after instead of maybe checking out the side and just rushing in. Of course, it's you can't expect there to be such a big stack of people, but it's interesting.
Okay. Aggression early on. Cajun with the MP9 goes 1 for 1. His teammate had backed him up, but backed off as MSL. Abandoned, alone. Got an MP9 to protect himself. What better weapon to farm with?
And oh, he goes. Sowing the seeds of war, but MSL has been brought back down to the crops, back to the earth he goes. To be one with them, and Kirby will reunite him with Lekro as well. Gold and company will keep going forward, and North will go backward and try to save these two rifles. And so, we are 4 for 4.
Well,
every single time. Also, this is also just really fun for me because North, while they were still in the regular playoffs for the tournament, from the group stage onward, they didn't lose a single force fire out of one the pistol. A single. And now they've lost all of them.
Yeah, that's kind of a harrowing statistic.
Doesn't
don't know if that
baseline is there.
Yeah, it does. I also don't know how much of that is. Understandably, RMR points are important, but you'd hope to go further into tournaments, so you can sometimes lose a bit of that fire in your belly. How much of that is just maybe a little loss of confidence, taking or being a little less team-oriented and focusing a little bit more on individuals? That's maybe me reading a little too much into it. But
it might have something to do with the fact that the group was perhaps a little bit less individually skilled than a lot of the teams in the tournament. Like, not worse, but less reliant on individual firepower. And obviously, FaZe and yesterday Godsend are sort of extreme examples of firepower-aligned teams. So, could be an interesting point to consider.
Well, with one of their recovered rifles, they go for the boost, and they get naded promptly by Kjerby. He knows the playbook. He knows the strats. He was there once before. Things have changed, but not enough to deter them from going for a boost like that. So a lot of early tag damage accomplished on North. Rain firing up a couple more shots, finding a couple more tags, but slowly but surely, FaZe are establishing control on this T side.
North is playing really defensively now. Admittedly, they have the Eagles. You don't really know what their exact style of play is going to be, but MSL's position could still be a bit tricky. Unfortunately, a USB is his only friend, and that is indeed it's a bit of a tough sell when it comes to friendships. However, maybe he can still find something. Faze Clan moving backwards, and MSL could be in a great spot to maybe catch out coldzera on the rotate. FaZe, however, are just silently going in for the B-bomb site hit. Lekro and Gade are here to try and defend. Gade trying to move in. Flashbang is perfect. Gets himself 1 and 2. Third will evade him as Rain fights back. 3 versus 4 and North's rotations are here to party with. And Rain, he's here as well. 2 quick headshots through a wall. Looking for more, but coldzera to find 2 more and finish things off. Rain and Cold doing it all on their own.
Of course, Cold, in the last time we saw them on Overpass, was a big factor as to why they got so many rounds on their T side. And we call back to Rain. He had an overtime crazy state of affairs when it was against NIP. The 2 players that seem to excel in a map that FaZe aren't too fond of playing into as of late. And have been forced into it as a result of, well, best of 3s.
Flashbang goes over. MSL and Cajun are actually in a very important spot over here. Cold might be overwhelmed, but Cold is so meticulous in clearing these angles. What a pair of shots from him.
That looks like almost a pre-fire map right there. Clearing both the angles he needs to, one after the other. Not over-facing, not over-swinging into the double peak. He's still hunting for even more kills. All that attention applied, but ooh, Gade does find one with the dig. The potential for this to cascade into a little bit more, but he doesn't get his hands on the rifle.
Asian Gate. Damage would still be nice to have. Let's not forget that Faze Clan, as they lean in towards closing this gap, they can be liable to losing a few too many players at times, and we saw that in the previous round as well, where, you know, against a half by 2 rifles saved by, you do still want to come out cleaner than just 2 players saving. So a continual little hammer to keep the Faze Clan economy down would be nice.
Well, Azi's only got 2 HP, and he knows that there's a rifle somewhere in bathrooms.
Yeah, might be a bit of a tough sell. I think he probably just goes down over here, sees the first play, and with this coldzera and company. Yeah, that's what I was wondering as well. I think the bomb does, because Overpass is really weird about the bomb. Vertical elements are not fun. At least in Vertigo, they reduce the damage enough so that you can figure it out. But what a few shots from Cold again. We see them on the screen.
Yeah, verticality. If you're rotating up through heaven, there are certain spots in heaven where you actually take less damage than if you're on A site because of the distance and the materials.
Oh.
A lot to factor in.
Indeed. Very complex physics engine on this game, but as smokes go out. Smoke's, of course, one of the few things where the complexity of the physics engine seems to peak out. Right? No one really knows what they're doing, but they're just doing something. Cajun, he has been doing a lot of something all across the series, and he's hoping to keep it going. Sees the player coming into him. Niko has been intercepted and brought down. Right, try to continue in. Flashbang is there. MSL distracted, not expecting the fast pace, and Rain will come out on top because of it.
Have the opportunity to recover the AWP if they want to as well. But faster plays have been pretty consistent here for Faze, and taps are consistent as well. This time it's Rain. 19 kills. One more added to that tally. Rather, 18. Plus the 1. They don't have the bomb, so they have to go back and recover that. And while that's all happened, while the attention is diverted, Kierby has got the B bomb site.
This is very important over here. Kirby, however, is in an exposed position, so if there's a rotation back from either one of these players, it would be big. But Kirby has instead exposed the weaknesses of Gade. The issue would have been if Gade or Ahu, no, coldzera, not even letting them save. But the problem would have been if Cajun or AZ actually rotated back to heaven. That's where Kirby probably goes down, and then things get a bit dicier, but he finds the timing, makes it work.
And this was the big question coming into this. I think it's fair that we expect a more cohesive CT side from North. It's their map pick. They've seemed good on maps like Nuke, where I think a lot of the similar rotation and communication has to come through. But maybe like what you were saying, the fact that they have maybe played against some not lesser skill, but less individually focused teams does lead them to a bit more security in their setups. I think they have a bit more time to play off of, but Faze are taking heads, and North cannot respond so far as they've been in the second half.
Flashbang goes overhead. Brokey peeks in, and MSL will fall. Double peeks always good from Faze Clan. That's one thing you can always rely on. The basics will be brushed as long as they're not the dust too long, smokes. Faze, meanwhile, will almost be caught up by Cajun B, who wasn't spotted at the very least. A small benefit to him on that. Cajun watches for them coming in, but this time he's not good to take down Niko. And it's back to a 5-on-3.
Yeah, again, it is just Deeg, so trying to get damage accomplished would be a big benefit here for North. But damage is all they accomplish. Not quite the level that they were expecting, you know, kills, economic damage. That's really what we're talking about. But everybody's still alive for now. But Gade could be a huge issue. They don't clear him. They don't clear him. He gets 2 kills. Gade still alive and kicking over. And Optimus, eventually tracked on down. And Lekro won't get there in time. The slow rotate, the walking through. He didn't want to give information away. Well, meanwhile, his teammate's fighting for his dear life. We'll see if Lekro can compound this into something a little different. Headshot angle exposed. The Deagle ringing off shots, but no connections. And Cold spams him down. FaZe taking the lead narrowly at 11.
leikkeet's put up some decent numbers, but he's been a bit disappointing with the deagle today. We actually saw a few rounds on Dust 2 as well, where it looked like he was in prime position to get a few, but so far it's just Gade who's, got a couple of kills in that round. Faze Clan will have started to put up an economy as well. 11 to 10 up. North, outside the one pistol round they have managed to acquire so far, it's not been the smoothest of sailings for them. Now, with Cajun and MSL trying to take contests for long and the mid and divider area completely neglected, maybe they can find something.
Oh, they seem to be heading over in that direction. MSL honed in with the AWP. Oh, they run boost over with the tag.
What?
It's not a kill. MSL surviving on 30. He gets away with the frag, but Cajun not quite so lucky. Rain, fast pace towards A. The flashes blind up leikkeet, and they could backstab on MSL as well, but he gets another, holding on to this long control. The smoke as well buys him a little bit more sanctuary, but he's getting spammed down. 4 HP, 1 bullet would do it, and Cold is quickly approaching, trying to wrap on through. Finally, MSL dealt with, and well, that's free frag for KRB. Gate creeping on out to truck. He thought he might be able to pull off the same play twice. Not gonna happen.
This entire round for North can just be summed up and caught unaware. First, someone boosts over MSL's scope lines. Then immediately after that, you can see Rain's able to walk into the A side in a bit of an awkward position. Then Kirby's already in place to take down Gade. AZ, sure, you can walk away with an AWP, but with FaZe being up 12 to 10 now, it's starting to get really nice, and you start to wonder, okay, North, you're taking different positions. You're starting to get a little bit more, creative in that, as AZ will get another one. Very nice few kills, at least stresses out FaZe. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still not the most impact when you consider FaZe have quite a bit of banks stored up on 3 players. But I think the problem is still, North is changing their positions. They're changing their setups, but they're not getting aggressive pretty much ever.
Yeah, very stagnant CT side. Even with these double setups, it's similar to what we were mentioning about FaZe, but again, FaZe were, I think, a little bit more reliable in their individuals. Sure, their CT side wasn't that great either, but they're more comfortable in those setups because they can weigh in on the individual skill. But there can be some missing elements at times for North. Sure, we're getting good performances from AZ. Cajun is kind of slowed down. leikkeet as well has had his glimpses. But now that we've transferred into the second half, it has been a slower period.
I think Cajun's gone from being 15 to 6 or 15 to 7 now to 19-15.
Yeah.
Not pretty at all, unfortunately. AZ's been right there with him for a while, but unfortunately, you don't have that super carry performance from Cajun, and suddenly North seem a little bit weaker and a little bit worse for wear. Rain now hoping to make sure that they don't just fall down to a quick deagle round. Rain will be naded a little bit, but FaZe are just walking onto the B side. Gade's good for one. Looks for more and connects. Third is possible as AZ's found one of his own. Brokey and niko in a 2v5 early on. They've made the wrong decision, and Brokey's tagged up for it. Brokey keeps going, finds himself one, looks for more, but Gade ready to intercept the head, leaving just niko. 1 versus 4 and a minute to go. He's flying around these corners, and North, this deagle round, this could be everything they need, but niko can't quite get that single tap straight to the head. He is paranoid of someone coming in from the flank. North, though, they are not going to risk any bodies. They are not going to risk niko doing anything with the double face that could potentially come through. niko knows he needs to take down the toxic player first, and as he peeks forward, leikkeet and company are just up in midair. They will take him down. North, a very important round to win, Michael, not just because of the fact that, hey, they've got deagles and they're behind, but because now they can actually capitalize off of the kills that AZ got with the AWP.
Yeah, the economy is wearing thin here on this FaZe side, and they've just bolstered North's economy, because not only do they win that round, they keep 4 alive, they recover 3 AKs and an AWP. They even thought about picking up the secondary AWP just in case that was a potential setup they'd like to run. They do decide against it, but they finally break the string of rounds. That was 6 in a row for FaZe after losing the pistol round and then winning the second. See if now the tides begin to turn in North's favor.
And there were some very well-timed flashes there from North, which just keeps so much of the T-side at bay and allows Gate to be able to stick his position and go in. Rain initially goes down great, and then the secondary flashbang that comes over, which is what allows him to get the second kill as well. That's beautiful stuff. So at the end of it all, Gate does get the kills, but it is his teammates who definitely do prop him up on their shoulders for him to stay down at Faze Clan. B side of the destination once again. Rain now going in. This time dodges out a few more flashes, and as he leads on, pulls out the knife, and now he's looking to spray into the smoke, but AZ and Cajun have both found one apiece. coldzera, though, still fighting back. AZ has gone down. Gabe's still alive and drops the bomb as a result of it. Again, it's just Brokey and niko. Again, not much hope, but niko this time has found himself the first, and Brokey's traded because of it. niko, Molotov at the ready as well. Gate can't be the troublemaker, but with a smoke, he's still alive, and niko's been tagged up by the nade. MSL peeks forward, doesn't land the shot, will be taken down. niko is feeling himself, gets another. Suddenly, it's all possible. niko in the 1v3 is making it all work, but Gate has repositioned and come from the side. Gate, these past few rounds, has stepped up and is taking FaZe to court. Well, he's got a bloody good lawyer.
And that barrel's position for Gade has been played exceptionally. We saw it in the Deagle round. This time, he smokes himself, gets smoked out. And not only does he still find impact, he stays alive for that much longer. You could see even the pathing was different there for Rain on the entry. He tried to hard clear barrels, which leaves his back exposed to places like Heaven, the CT rotate, water. He's willing to take that risk because they need to try and flush Gade out, and they fail to do so.
Honestly, I feel like you're seeing a triple nade at this point. There's no other way. Gate's too slippery.
Well, if that is to be the call, they don't have the money to do it this time, so...
Well, listen, I mean, you've heard the old saying, if you're going to shoot the fish in the barrel, blow the barrel up. Right?
Right.
That's how it works.
You've got some weird fishing practices or some old wives' tales that need further explaining, but I'll take your thoughts on that afterwards.
Well, Faze Clan hoping to find a couple of quick deagle kills at the least, but MSL is good to take down Cold. This time no run boost to distract. Rain, very nice shot to find as he comes in for more. That's even rifles recovered. Gade, though, still alive, and he is the eternal menace.
Yeah, the bomb was spotted and dropped over at Monster. Very cautious about how they approach this. Was given up, so the potential to reposition is always there for FaZe, but they don't usually want to back away from a fight. Still committing through Monster. Gade, once again, same position, maybe same results. The nade and the spray to follow. It's another 3K for Gade. He has been so consistent on this B-side hold. He has been an absolute menace. You spelled it out right. And in spite of the best efforts of Rain getting these initial kills, they just lost too much in the endeavor.
Gade's got to be one of those annoying players in the world to play against. Every time he ends up at barrels again, and there's nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Now, Faze Clan, I see you. You've got yourself 3 nades. They better be going straight towards the toxic position where Gade is again. Rain has had that quick little... Oh, actually, they've got a boost over as well. They're trying to get information early on, and Rain knows it. Question is, do they get it? Yes, they do. niko,
here it comes.
Nade goes over as well. This one will. Yes, I knew it. That's the only way you deal with him.
Oh, you called it, and there it is. The airstrike at barrels, and AZ gets overrun. They make short work of the B-bomb site. Gade's gone, no problem. MSL up to save, as it's a 1-on-5 that he has no hope in winning.
You saw it the second they bought 3 nades, but I'm telling you, I knew it the second they buy 3 nades.
As soon as you saw niko get that kill, he just instantly pulled out the nade. You could tell the artillery was being lined up.
And look, guys, I know this probably looks like a really simple fight. It's not. It's really not. MSL, as he tries to fight back, I'm not sure if he has much of a chance of a hair, but Come on, MSL. About the play. Okay, he's getting the one more and almost a second, but will be taken out. Okay, so what happens over there is the second that North actually pops a door open with their own nade, North is very well aware that eventually you're going to have an airstrike coming in. So they try to counter that because you can't airstrike that effectively from Monster side. You want to go in from the connector side from B short and then get the nades over because that's where you get the maximum possible damage. So what do you do if you're North? Well, you boost up and you try peering directly down connector. They had the right idea, but niko then knows it. And if they can't get the initial kill onto Rain, who just explodes out of the door, he doesn't stop when the door gets broken. He just runs all the way through. He relies on the fact that niko's right behind him, and then niko's got his crosshair placement. For both teams, that was such a well-played round.
And that's the thing that's really surprising. Is that Rain, you don't typically think of him as this hyper-aggressive player. So slow in the way he aims, so methodical in his approach typically. But he's throwing himself out there so rapidly that North just... I mean, you can't predict the speed and the pace that he's implementing in the rounds. I like the run boost. It's a different peak from MSL, but Brokey's pre-aiming the angle. So the ops dropped, gone early.
And with this phase as well, we'll just move back and say, oh, what? We can go for a boost of our own. There's multiple ways of dealing with the toxic barrels. Question is, what is AZ doing? He's been hurt, if I'm not wrong, and as he creeps out and is boosted up. AZ, you see niko. AZ, you see him. Is he order 3? No, he definitely sees him. Come on, AZ. You didn't realize he was there, niko. And AZ chips in the sea. They go by each other, but AZ will be the one to collide with 3. 2 versus 3 now. Brokey and coldzera to try and save the day. Both boosts in position to spot each other out. niko literally in his sightlines, but he just can't get the kill. Until later on, of course.
Somebody get this man some glasses. Cole creeping on A and lekkro's right into it. Holding such a passive angle, and with Cold walking into him, that is an easy frag to find. Now Brokey left in a clutch. 3 players, and lekkro swings before he predicts the movement. A 14th round for North. It comes off the back of a bit of an awkward set of duels, but AZ makes up for it. It's all calculated. He played it out in his head, and he's like, yeah, if I kill him on the boost, I only get 1, so I'll take my time.
Trigger discipline. That's what it is. Definitely, he definitely knew niko was there. That is so funny.
Just don't peek it. Just don't peek it, please.
And
now what do you do if you're Faze backed into a corner? The economics, they don't really spell things out in your favor. Not going to get a comfortable buy if that's going to be the decision. Do you allow North up to 15? Sure, you have a map advantage, but this could have been yours.
Oh, absolutely. If that 3K goes the other way, you never know what's coming up. North, they've now had multiple heroics to get themselves where they are. The 4 rounds that they have gotten outside of the first run have had, every single one of them have had a player getting 3K. 3 of them have been gained. 1 of them has been AZ so far. So some great stuff from the individuals coming out, really stepping up where K's in clutch.
And they take a different stance here in North. They've gone for short water control instead, but look at the gap that it's created towards A. That pressure that's been applied to B so many times. niko even finding a kill around the connector. It's going to sell them even further on maybe a slower B play, and they are creeping up long ever more. Cajun does spot them out, does give them the jiggle peek, and the flash will keep them back. He's called for reinforcements. Now Faze have options. They have connector control. They've got some solid long and monster control as well to play off of, and a whole lot of time to do it.
Cajun's got so much information though. And he's trying to spray inside the smoke. Just make it so Faze is dissuaded from coming over here. But Faze, did they realize that there are 3 players on this side? AZ is the sole defender of B. Kirby has not tried to find that information at all. And with 35 seconds on the clock, this will be so difficult to rotate when you have so many players concentrated around long. The A site seems to be a certain destination, but as niko moves back to line up some flashes and smokes, Cajun's been tagged up pretty heavily. Kirby looking to go in and find AZ on the other side, but Rain is the first one to break blood. He gets one, and niko follows up with a beautiful spray down. 2 players to fall. AZ reveals his position, and when his knife is out, Kirby will get the stab in. North have had their money destroyed. They've got $1,900 as a loss bonus. This is not a good place to be if you're them.
Yeah, that same corner that you could have been backed into if you're Faze had you gone to save, instead being felt by North, but even more so. They have less funds to play off of, so they have to go for it. Just standard issue pistols, a deagle. That's all they'll have surrounding this CT side for round 29. And if there was ever a moment for Cajun to perform, it would be now.
They won't have it behind the next one either, properly at least. Rain peeks out, almost catches Cajun already. Cajun is able to find one at least, and the fadeaway Brokey will fall. Despite having information on his position, they're not quite able to compromise him. Rain, now up connected he goes. niko and himself, looking to get a slightly cleaner deal with MSL.
Problem is he's going to be threatened from long, so he has to constantly turn back and forth. The shadow advantage doesn't matter. You don't have a head. Rain decapitates, and Cajun gets offered up a frag. He walks into his crosshair, but he still can't get the hit.
A few of these missed eagle shots will be coming back to haunt them if they keep going, and Rain is giving Cajun a chance to be acquainted with the hauntees. niko keeps firing back. leikkeet will fall. No real chance for North in this round once Cajun misses that shot, and Faze Clan do find themselves up to 15-14. And like I said, Michael, there is no money even now on North.
Well, they'll have to scrap something together. SMG out, some rifles, an MSL. A FAMAS actually not opting for as... Okay, no, he does get the full utility belt. Never mind. My maths is bad. His is great. Couple FAMASs, couple M4s, and an MP9. They've got the smokes they need to delay, get themselves out of tricky situations. And Brokey, faster play with the AWP. That's an opening towards B. And Gade, he can no longer sit at the barrel's position. Has to play a closer angle instead. That nade does so much damage, though, for North.
And Brokey's taken down one of the highest fraggers on the North side as well. Talk about impact, but impact has been made with Brokey and niko. They're both so low, and coldzera is as well. However, North are the ones who have lost the manpower. And with Cold having revealed his position on A, they are hoping that North will be faked into rotating backwards. However, Gade and leikkeet are still on the side, ready and waiting. niko, so low. He's hoping that these CTs will get aggressive into him instead. And with 50 seconds left on the clock, rotations do seem to finally come in from North. Faze creeping in onto the bump site. North need a multi-kill over here from leikkeet. We've seen some beautiful moments from him, but this might not be one of them. Kirby's found the first. leikkeet trays it away, yes, but now come out the weak players. leikkeet's going to be fighting soon. leikkeet almost catches out the first player, and it will be niko to fall, Rain to trade, and MSL to be alone. 1 versus 2, 20 seconds. The clock is ticking down. The nade could be everything, and Brokey is going to fall victim to it. MSL now comes in from Monster Tunnel. Rain expecting a short side play, but he's realized that MSL could maybe be coming from Monster. Rain is expecting this. MSL, as he creeps up, is playing against the time and against the bomb. No kit either. He pulls out the smoke. Rain, he's going to be able to come in soon. MSL does reveal himself, and Faze get the 16. It's so close, but they can't get it done. Faze in 2 maps. Close it out.
And what a way to do it. It was an overtime in the first game. Now it's 16.